Taiwo, it was International Men's Day.
I didn't know.
That's so, okay, you see, that is the problem.
But you're a great man. I celebrate you every day. International Men's Day or not, you are.
Sweetheart, I understand that. But the interesting thing is, International Men's Day coincided with International Toilet Day.
Coincided,
I didn't say coincided. Is that what I said?
I thought.
Yeah, I thought you wrong.
Coincided with
Yeah.
Toilet Day, eh?
Yes.
What is Toilet Day?
I don't know.
Celebrate the day that toilets were made.
Is that what it is?
I would imagine. Focus on toilets. Everybody use toilets.
But why would men and toilets be put in the same category?
I don't think it was intentional. I speak for those people who did it. I don't think they did. I guess that men get a lot of flack because people feel that men don't step up. Yeah, I'm not talking about you. It's not a personal.
I know you're not.
You know, I guess maybe people, okay, when I say people, women feel that men don't step up.
But you know what? If it was International Women's Day, I remember when it was International Women's Day, I spoke that day. Why are you fidgeting?
Trying to get comfortable. Okay,
You are not comfortable with me.
it's not you. All right, let's go on. You remember?
That on International Women's Day, I spoke at 3 events.
I think,
But International Men's Day just passed. And so why does the Women's Day get such attention and the Men's Day doesn't get attention?
I think we hype, this is a woman speaking. I think we hype everything that has to do with women. I think that there's this, please don't kill me. There's this impression that people feel that women are marginalized, you know, send the girl child to school.
Well, that is true.
I'm saying
And
women
that has
I'm not knocking it. I'm saying
Yes.
women are not paid the same as men for the same work, for the same hours. So I think that there was so much marginalization of the woman.
And it still exists.
Yes. So we raised the woman, but we forgot to raise the man too. I always say that, by the way.
Which is, okay, so we forgot to raise the man, and that is why his day is put on the same day as the toilet day. And I'm thinking, what if, just what if, Women's Day was put on toilet day?
Toilet day would just not get any notice. That's what would happen. Toilet day would get no notice. Did toilet day get notice yesterday?
I don't know.
Yeah.
So what's your message to men who feel aggrieved that International Men's Day it just came and went?
First of all, don't sweat the small stuff. Don't make such a big thing of this day's thing. That's my number one thing. My second thing would be to say that that women should remember that we do need men. And so when we bash men and we put them down and we say, and I guess some men do deserve it. I'm not trying to. When we do that, we forget that these men still play a major role in our lives. That's just the truth.
But I have a lot of friends who men don't play a role in their lives and they don't give a rip about a man. Because somebody is watching you now and saying, Taiwo, it's easy for you to say you are with your husband.
You know, we shouldn't let our experiences define us. We shouldn't let our experiences.
How practical is that?
I know that will take a lot of work.
Because, I mean, in this same Super Home Extra we've been doing with Pastor Jumi, we said the abused becomes the abuser. So, experience. So, how do we deal with? Because I just don't want us to be academic, because it's easy to say some of these things, but in reality, there's a man who is going to get upset that Men's Day came, he was not. So what, he was not recognized or whatever. So how do you appreciate the male race?
By not bashing them in front of the next generation.
How about those who deserve to be bashed?
No, but by all
And I
means,
know a few
by
of
all
them.
means, any man who is not stepping up, who is an abuser, who is irresponsible, should be called out for that. But the fact that men are doing certain things doesn't mean that all men are doing that. And I think that when we take a particular stereotype and we use it to cover all men, it affects the truth. It affects not only the men, it affects us too.
You know, I was working in Dar es Salaam and I met this beautiful lady. And when we got talking, she said, oh, she can never get married. That, you know, and just like the same thing we heard, you know, some years back, that, oh, all men are dogs. Those who are not yet dogs are puppies. They will soon grow up. And I think it's good to drop those, you know, it's probably easier said than done, but people need to stop thinking like that. Because I told her, I said, why are you judging the entire male race based on one man that treated you badly? You know? And then she goes, oh, you know, trying to defend it. And I said, look, I'm a statistician. One man cannot be a sample for the entire male race. So I think it's good that we begin to appreciate each other as individuals, not as a race. And the fact that you are married to or you are involved in a man who is absolutely dumb does not mean all men are dumb, even though, you know, they come close to it.
Even what it means, even though some men may be dumb. What I'll say is this: I want to celebrate all the men who are pulling their weight, men who are doing the best they can to take care of their family, men who are doing the best to take care of their wives, you know, to do their responsibility, and men who are determined to do the same. You know, the fact that we don't see good enough examples of men who are stepping up to the plate doesn't mean that.
But I have a problem with that. The fact that we don't see, who says maybe we are looking in the wrong places?
We say that, okay, when I say we, I guess women say that because that's what is put out there. We hear more. The truth is, we hear more about men who are cheating on their wives, men who are responsible drunkards, men on drugs, men who have baby mamas everywhere. We hear more of that. We don't hear enough of men who are not doing that. So if we get to hear about more men who are doing great stuff, and there are many men who are doing great stuff, you know, number one would celebrate them. Number two, it would help us to realize that we don't have to subscribe to that negative narrative, because the truth is, no matter how bad it is out there, you don't want one of those men, one of the men that have 17 baby mamas, one of those men that has, you know, is a drunkard on drugs, you know, beats up his kids and all that. That's not what you want. And so while we were acknowledging that they are the bad eggs, there are good eggs as well, you know.
Very many. And that is why I want to celebrate men, you know, for International Men's Day. I want to celebrate men. It takes a lot for a man to stay focused, for a man to provide the kind of life that the family would be happy with and all that. And so I want to celebrate men. If you're not yet there, you are on a journey. Don't give up. Don't look back. Don't give up. It will work. Now, I think the next week, besides whatever happens in the course of the week, we will talk about. But I think something we need to think about. What happens to that young lady who has listened to us, who has found herself as the second, third, or fourth woman in a particular man's life, and that man is taking super care of her to be celebrated?
You have to break that down because I didn't understand.
Or not? A young lady discovers that, like my friend, my late friend, remember my late friend in Nakuru who had five wives, you know? So this young lady finds herself maybe as number 5. Or, yeah, number 5 or whatever.
Number 5, as a wife or
As
as
a
a
wife
girlfriend.
or as that girlfriend. And the man is taking so much care of her, and she's never been treated so nice before. What is the message to such a person?
To the girl.
Yes. So that I think we need to talk about next week. Not an academic thing. We need to get real. All right. See you all next week.
All righty.